On today's episode
of Two Mystic Mamas,
we're talking about overwatering. Overwatering
life.
Yeah, yourself.
I mean, sometimes I think the most spiritual thing that you can do is stop overwatering something and just let it grow.
I mean, there's two ways to kill a plant. You either don't water it or you water it too much.
Right, 100%.
So, just apply that to your life.
I actually have some real world metaphors laid out for us.
Okay.
Yeah. We should welcome.
We should welcome. Yeah. We kind of did a fake out.
We faked you out. This is official. Welcome to Two Mystic Mamas.
I will say that's my only real gripe with doing virtual recordings is our Two Mystic Mamas it's never in sync. It's almost like you should do it and then I should do it. Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then have her sync it up.
Yeah, blend it like Charles in Charge.
We've talked a lot about gardens in our episodes. We've talked about tending to your own garden. We have talked about physically gardening. We've talked about witchy gardens. We've spent a lot of time in our physical and metaphysical gardens here. And this is something that I think we all do in some area of our lives, that it's just smothering. We're just smothering something and you're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is different than smothering your husband with a pillow. You also will kill him, but don't recommend.
For those of you who are just joining us.
For those of you who are homicidal maniacs that want to kill your husband.
Technically 3 names on the table for the podcast before we settled on Two Mystic Mamas. The first one was the
Charles,
womb room.
The womb room.
Which just...
Watch
funny.
Watch us get picked up by a network and Charlie's like, let me just pitch this to you guys real quick. The womb room. And they're like, yes, absolutely.
And we're going to rebrand.
The womb room.
The womb room.
The womb room.
The womb room. No. And the other one was, it's illegal to murder.
It's illegal to murder. I wanted to name it, it's illegal to murder your husband. But then it didn't fit the context of what we were talking about.
Who definitely would have been more of a...
It was just a thinly veiled threat.
Plus, it's comical.
But I am writing a book. It's illegal to murder your husband, so...
It's going to be good. Number 1 bestseller on the New York Times list. Putting it out there now.
Like it. Let's fucking go.
I mean... Reading what you write is one of my most enjoyable activities to do when we're editing. Your emails. And then I'm like, hi, ChatGPT. I'm going to put my thoughts into it and then make it sound good. Okay, so overwatering areas in your life is when you try to force growth. You're not paying attention to the details. And sometimes you can do these by accident. It's not necessarily intentional.
It could be even paying too much attention to the details as well, right? It's when nurturing becomes drowning.
Yes, right. These are examples of what this is. When you are constantly working, you're constantly healing, you're constantly fixing yourself, you're overanalyzing relationships, you're pushing productivity, you're trying to control outcomes. So it's kind of, giving just where do you find balance? And I know I go back to the scales, but I think sometimes that's just a really good visualization of how you can think about these in your own life, right? Not projecting because clearly what is out of balance for us isn't going to be the same thing that's out of balance for our listeners. But I do feel you hear these terms like burnout and stressed out, and you've done something for so long, it's become part of your routine, and then you don't know how to not do it anymore.
Well, there's people that do this too when it comes to checking in on their family members, text messages of their kids or their partners, or imagine pulling a tarot card every 10 minutes. For the same thing.
Oh, God.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just this constant searching and grabbing and grasping
Yep.
for control over something.
Yep.
that you can't control.
No. I did a reading on Thursday for a woman, and this is the second time I've done a reading for her, but I said every 6 weeks, and I think that's a good place for most, if you do readings of any sort. Like 6 weeks is a good place to have clients come back and revisit, especially if it's the same question, but there's work that shows up that needs to be addressed, needs to be figured out. And so we're not fortune tellers. We're not telling you the future. We're not predicting anything. It's just like a guided next steps as to like what your spirit team is telling you.
Which you already know exists within you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It was so funny with her and her reading, because she was like, I know. And I was like, okay, well.
Yeah. Well, it does seem not listening.
Yes. And she had 3 major arcanas pull in her reading too. So I was like, girl, you got some work. You got some paths coming up that you're going to have to make some decisions here. And she's like, I know. And I love these types of clients that interact with you again, because like I use people's names, but I'm not going to guess what your loved one is that passed away. Like, I'm just going to ask you, right? Like, again, I'm not a medium. I'm not a psychic. I'm not going to sit here and try to like pull facts. I want to channel those people. So I'm going to address them by name, and you're going to tell me what their names are. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, but she was great. It was really good. So,
all right. So when you give a plant too much water, this is the same as giving too much effort into something that you're doing, right? So, have you ever overwatered a plant?
Yes.
And what happened?
Oh, they die. Yeah. They get choked out. And
they get choked out. They turn yellow.
And then they stink. So stinky, because there's like bacteria and mold and all the things.
Yeah. It's funny because we have these two.
I'd be shocked if you overwatered plants.
I have.
Really?
I have. Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like your plants.
This guy is struggling. He keeps like sucking. I don't know. It's just been this winter that all of a sudden.
Well, the heat, the dry heat.
He was always over there. This is the first winter he's been moved. And last winter he was fine over there. He does not like it over here for whatever reason.
Must be
and
too
it's
drafty.
The same amount of water than he usually gets. And I like really made sure he was saturated before I left town.
Yeah.
So
plants are fickle.
They are. Well, we have 2 money plants that we had gotten years ago. And I had never had a money plant. I didn't know how to take care of a money plant. And I was overwatering the money plant. And the money plant started to get root rot and die. And I was like, oh, this is certainly a fucking metaphor.
I know. When your plants give you the truth that you know in the moment, you're like, no.
Well, right. And root rot is like burnout, right? So that's what happens. You water it too much, and now you've given too much effort, and now you have created burnout, which we can all attest to in some form of our life.
Yes. I've been over watering my spirituality.
Okay, that's my next thing is like if you don't have enough oxygen, there's no space to breathe. There's no space for intuition.
No.
There's no space. Like art needs space.
Yep.
Art needs space to breathe.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with your metaphysical gifts. If you are constantly inundating them, you're not giving them space to even allow your team of light to come in with nuggets of wisdom because they're so busy answering requests all the time.
Right. This word keeps coming up for me when I was thinking about this episode, but even now, it's the word integrate. And integrating and having integration is like combining 2 things into one and giving them space and time to come together too by themselves, right? So I find a lot of times if I learn something new, giving it time to integrate is really important. Like I wouldn't recommend doing 5 meditations in a day, right? Do a meditation. And if you're drawn to doing another one for whatever reason, fine. But like you don't need to do all of the things. And I feel this is where there's that balance of like social media can be great for information and it can be great for examples of how to do things. And also it can be overwhelming. Like you can overwater yourself with social media, doom scrolling, all of the things.
And the same with AI. If you're constantly plugging into AI, like, what do I do with my life? And you're not actually doing anything with your life and taking next steps.
Yep.
You're just flooding with more information.
Mm-hmm. So let's just take a quick pause while you guys are listening to this. Think about where you are overwatering or underwatering.
Yeah, I have a 3-plant test for people.
Okay, here we go.
That will be this, right? So I want you to think of 3 plants in your life. And this is just a quick gut check. The first plant, what are you overwatering? The second plant, what are you underwatering? And the third is something that's actually growing perfectly for you, and you just keep messing with it.
That's like candles. You ever have a candle? Did you ever go through a phase where you just kept fucking with candles because of the wax?
Yeah, when I was a teenager.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. Like it, just let it burn.
Right.
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Stop touching it. Stop doing finger molds.
Right.
No one cares. Emmeline. I come home, I'm like, stop touching my candles. I didn't touch it.
Do you remember in the 90s it was a thing to get your boobs and your penis like cast in wax?
No.
I specifically remember on the boardwalk in Ocean City. This is like around my like
this is
senior
like
year.
A beach thing.
Right. And there was a guy that had like a waxing station, which most people go and they like stick their hand in and they get
like paraffin wax.
Yeah. And they get a wax mold of their hand. It had to be some derivative of paraffin wax because it didn't peel off. It like got hard and then you had a sculpture of your hand.
Okay.
But I knew one person that got her boobs done. And then a guy that she met down there had gotten his penis done. That sounds terrible.
Yeah. What do you do with it then? Put it on your mantle? Like, look at this keepsake I got from the beach. Mom. Like,
you get one every year you go back and see how your penis changes.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Sidebar, if you ever go to Iceland, there is a penis museum there and it's actually amazing. You should go.
There's a sex museum in Amsterdam that was also really super cool too.
There you go. The more you know, guys.
Yeah, the history of sex.
So some other signs that you're overwatering your life might be you're exhausted from things that you love. You are fixing problems that nobody asked you to fix. You check on things that were already handled. And you feel responsible for everybody's emotions. I think this applies to having children a lot too.
Oh,
like
for sure.
Are we overwatering our children? Are you?
You actually were instrumental in helping me reframe a lot with Emmy and Graham, specifically Graham last year, where, you know, I just remember you saying, you have to let him fail. And I was like, such an interesting concept because yes, and also it feels abnormal to let
100%.
your kids like knowingly be like, you're going to fail. But you're not like going out saying that. You're doing it more internally. But like even with Emmeline this year, there's been certain things where I'm like, you're going to have to figure this out and it's not going to be enjoyable.
Right.
I can do what I can.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's another interesting part of parenting, I think, too, is just letting the fail happen, which is allowing the balance to be put back.
All right. And a place that I still struggle with it is, and I was really working on this week when we were traveling. And this really comes from being a single mom and having to make sure I was all the things all the time, right? There was no space for me to not be all of the things. And so I always over prepared. That's one of my overwatering, is being over prepared. And I will do it too, like when we travel and like making sure we have enough snacks and a backup snack and a this and a that. And do we have this? And what if this happens? And traveling with all of the things. And while it's great to be prepared, it's also exhausting. So I tried to let myself still be prepared, but not quite as much in Disney. And I'll tell you what happened. Everything worked out fine, except we spent 4 times as much money as we normally would. That's the reality of it. And I'm like, oh, this is why I do this. Like, this could have been so much cheaper if I had been overwatering 2 weeks ago. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I know. Disney is one of those places you're like, this doesn't feel magical or happy.
It was a complete opposite. We actually had a most magical time. Like,
well, yes, but I mean,
and there were no parents flipping out on their children. It was great. Like, everybody was so great. I was like, this is the best Disney trip we've ever had.
Yeah,
honestly.
I love that. Because Disney can be, wow.
It's certainly overstimulating. You know, I am really shocked at the number of people that bring really small children. Like, we didn't take Evie till she turned 5. And I remember going for my 5th birthday and remembering it. And I wanted her to remember it. Now, I guess if you live down there and you have like a season pass and it's cheaper or whatever, that's different.
Or you're one of those Disney, you're obsessed.
Yeah, Disney fan. And we've been 3 times now since she was 5.
Yeah.
It's been better each time. But also she's older and it's, you know, it's fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so big too that you can like chunk it up and there's always something to see that's new. Right. It's kind of like New York.
She's an adrenaline junkie. Every time she goes, she asks specifically, can I be in the front of the roller coaster? And she is hands up, front of the roller coaster. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, Rach, what would be some recommendations if people do find themselves in this space of overwatering to kind of take a step back?
I think self-analyzation is like key, right? Like being able to be self-aware and look at how this applies in your life. And then in order to make change, that's probably the first step. And then you just have to figure out, what do you want to see differently? Whether it's you don't want to work as much, you want to be out of a toxic environment. Like, what are the changes that you have to make? And then allowing for rest, allowing for, again, for integration, like coming back to like, okay, you've put changes in place. Now allow them to take the form they're going to take, because this isn't work that is going to necessarily be instantaneous. And it could be like starting a new hobby. It could be going back to something that you used to enjoy that you haven't done in a long time. There's just so many examples of what this could look like. And also doing the things that, you know, bring you back to homeostasis.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is first asking yourself, is it even yours to water?
The problem?
Yep. Is it even yours to water? Is it your plant to water? Is it your turn to water? Right? And what would your life look like if you were able to scale that back 10%? You know, what kind of effect would it have?
I love that we're using plants as the example, because there's like so many different species of plants, and there's, you know, chemical makeups of different soils and how they grow, different amounts of light and what you need, the water you use. Like, there are a lot of details that go into maintaining different types of plants. Like if you're a Venus flytrap, you know, like
I want to have a carnivorous plant display.
So carnivorous plants, I have a girlfriend that I did my one business class with, and she's a botanist. And so she has like all different types of plants, and carnivorous plants are like her jam. And it was always fun talking to her because like she has such a passion for it. And there's a lot actually of carnivorous plants, not just, I mean, the most famous
one. We know that one, yeah. They have them at Trader Joe's right now if you want to be in a flytrap.
I have never been successful keeping those alive.
I've never had one. I've never tried.
We got one for Graham once because he was like real into them. But yeah, I just think about how you apply those different techniques then to your own life. Like, what is the composition of soil that you want to flourish and grow in? You know, what type of plant are you? Like, what's your symbolic representation? You know,
I love that so much. I think, you know, too, if you're in that space where you're constantly asking the universe for the answers, or you're constantly trying to like manifest or over manifest, or, you know, what do I do? Like, I think a lot of people do this with love, especially when they're single, right? And they're like, when am I going to find that person? Like, when am I going to, like, the universe is saying, girl, I already gave you the answer. Like,
well, trusting the process.
I already gave you the answer. Stop watering it so much.
Yep. Trusting the process, I think, can be a challenge because we are groomed to want instant satisfaction and like instant gratification, especially if we feel that like we've done the work, you know, like maybe someone's looking for a relationship. So they focused on themselves for the last year.
And, like, where is he?
And then they're not, it's not happening. They're like, what the fuck? So I think it's just trusting the process and knowing that like when you trust the process, it works out.
Yeah.
It's like,
you can proofread your work. Just don't rewrite it 4 times.
Yeah. Just let it play out. Yeah. I mean, that goes back to the book club that we're starting here and the first book that's on it, The Midnight Library. Little plug here for the book club. But that's how that plays out, right? Like that, you know, without giving too much away, it's like coulda, shoulda, woulda, like what would have happened? And, you know, and I think it's not wasted energy to like think about those things. But at the same time, you've said this before, you just said it in the podcast episode that we just released, that even though you had a lot of hard experiences in your inner child and in your 20s, you wouldn't change a thing to be right here where you are now. So like, you have to trust the process. You have to know that life is happening for you, not to you. And that is your control in making a choice. Because when it all comes down to it, it's mindset. If your mindset is, I'm a victim, everything's happening to me, wah, 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 you're going to continue to be in that loop.
100%.
Continue. You're going to continue, but you'll just stay in that loop.
Yeah. And you'll continue to perpetually blame other people instead of stepping into your own power. You have the power to decide what your life is going to be like today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that there are not going to be circumstances that are out of your control. There certainly will.
Always.
But it's how you handle those circumstances.
Correct.
That are going to dictate what comes next.
Correct. 1,000%. And don't be surprised if you keep getting dealt a shit card because you keep having the same shit response.
Yep. And sometimes maybe you did have some growth, but you don't have all the growth. Then the cycle repeats in a slightly different way. And you're like, well, now I've learned.
Or it's lighter and softer and all the things. I mean, we talk about that all the time where we're like, we thought we were done with this. Why are we revisiting this again?
This will come back to you 20 years from now and you're going to be like, fuck. It's just life, and it's okay. It's supposed to be that way.
I will say on this whole overwatering, underwatering, we are a plant in this particular episode. The power of water too, and the quality of water that you give your plant, aka yourself, is really important as well. So if you're doing tap water that's full of chemicals that you're not monitoring what's in it, don't be surprised to feel like shit. Whereas if you drink good water, my whole point in this is, oh yeah, Evie, have you drinking your water? Need to do some more.
Thanks, Auntie Rachel.
I'm buying her a Camelback.
My God.
Camelback of the day.
Evie was in seeing the doctor last week. She's really struggling and she was dealing with chronic dehydration. She's in a pool so much, I think she just doesn't realize that she's sweating. She's not drinking enough water, even though she has 85 Stanleys. And we're like, hey, have you drank water? No. You know you're dehydrated, right? Yeah. Did you drink water? Nah. She is underwatering.
So I said we were going to get her a Camelback. Or, well, my first idea was back in the 90s was a hard hat that you would put 2 cans of beer in and have straws. Beer bong. Yeah. That's not a beer bong.
I know it's not a beer bong. But
like, you keep saying that. And I'm like, that's not what a beer bong is.
It's not a beer bong, but it's a beer.
Accessibility. Accessibility hat. I don't think it has a name. Does it have a name?
It's got to have a name. It's a beer accoutrement. I don't know. No, there's a name. There's got to be a name. If you guys know the name.
It's called Evie's drinking hat.
Evie's drinking hat. Evie's water hat. She just walked off the set of a YMCA music video with her water bottles.
Yes.
All right. I think we can wrap this up. We need struggle and boredom and independence in our life. And just like plants need to have struggle and have time and space, they can't be overcrowded. They can't be overwatered. They need to fight for that sunlight, right? If you ever see a seed coming up through the soil, it's a part of the process. And if you overwater that seed before it ever gets to sprout, it just gets washed away. And it's the same thing when you have grand ideas, when you have any sort of plan for your life at all. Just take it day by day and allow yourself to be in the moment of struggle, because it will lead you exactly where you're supposed to be.
I do want to end this by just thinking about, like, if you've been overworking or you've been over exercising or you've been overeating or you've been overdoing spiritual meditations or modalities, what are you not addressing? Like,
100%.
What are you ignoring and why?
Right, because you're putting all your energy into this other thing here.
Because what will happen is you will get more time back. Jeff and I were actually talking about this because he took a job in April that gave him more time with us. And we thought it was just going to be an easy integration. And it was not. It was great when he could fill that time with coaching, because that's one of the other perks of why he did it, is because he loves coaching so much. But when he wasn't coaching, it was just downtime. I would just be like, I guess he just needs downtime. And it was like me going about my routine because that's my routine. So I'd be boobity. Now, we would do things like go get this kid or whatever. But like when we were in the house.
This is common. I have a couple of photography clients who are NFL players, and they've talked about the same thing. Like during the off season, they really struggle to get back into an integration with their family. Yeah. Where they're there, all the time with the kids and the family. Yes. It definitely is a thing.
It is. And so it was interesting when it happened, because Jeff's like, I think I just have to go back to work. And I was like, or we can figure this out now that we've identified that you're not happy with your downtime because it doesn't feel meaningful and it doesn't feel like you're doing something for the family or whatever. But at least we identified it, because for probably the first 4 or 5 months, it was just like, and then it was, we would get into arguments about it. So it was an easy identification, but now we're still trying to figure out like what that looks like and feels like and how to work on it.
I think, and we're going to continue to go through this if you have children, when your kids leave and go to college or go off on their own, whatever they're going to do. And now you're found, you have your own time, especially if your kids are involved in extracurricular activities.
Yes.
I've definitely thought ahead to that. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to fill my time with?
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking about it because the podcast will still be around in 20 years. That's right.
All right, guys.
You heard it here first. We're going to have the longest running podcast ever.
Just wait until we're 105 coming at you.
Oh my God, we're going to be Cinnamon's age.
Oh, poor Cinnamon.
We realized that Krystyn's hedgehog is
very, very geriatric.
112.
Very, very old, guys. She's
all right.
A sweet little lady. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. The reason that you see us the amount that you do is because we don't want to overwater you with anything, whether that is our podcasts or our socials or our Patreon. We're trying to find the perfect mix of all of it. And we're so thankful that you're here supporting us.
Yes, we are.
Always open to suggestions. If you want to email us at twomysticmamas@gmail.com. TWO.
All right, we do. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Love you.